Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I have taken a dose of wisdom pills. यथानेक चक्षु प्रकाशो रविर्न क्रमेण प्रकाशी करोति प्रकाशम् अनेकाधियो यस्तथैक प्रबोधः स नित्योपलब्धि स्वरूपोऽहमात्मा. The problem in our cognition of the reality is we are trying to understand the absolute without giving up our hold to the relative. Now make this point clear. See? Take my favorite example of the waves, ocean and water. When I live as a wave, I will be looking around only the waves. See? So what will be my lifestyle? Wave versus wave. So I versus you. See? I received many years before one beautiful poem written by a girl. Now she has become a grandmother. So I still remember her poem. It's in Hindi. I'll translate it later. First, see the original. She wrote, Swamiji, शादी के पहले मैं ही मैं. Before marriage, only I. शादी के बाद तू ही तू. After I got married, you, honey, darling, you and you alone. कुछ दिन बीते, कुछ महीने बीते. Few days and few weeks and few months passed by. उसके बाद मैं तू मैं. After that, I, you, I. And the time continued और समय बीतता गया और बस तू मैं तू के सिवा कुछ रहा ही नहीं. See? Living as a relative individual, there cannot be any peace whatsoever. See? Now this is one relationship wherein I versus you is born. Now the second relationship. I, the wave, versus ocean, the creator. Will I, the wave, ever compete with the ocean, the creator? That is also a relationship. But in this relationship, there is no competition, no jealousy, no struggle, but there is complete surrender. Now what is the basic difference between these two relationships, wave versus wave and wave versus ocean? In case of the relationship, wave versus wave, individual versus individual, there is nothing but fight, argument, discussion leading nowhere. Then to get out of these relational problems, it is necessary that we develop another relationship. With another person? No. We develop relationship with the relatively absolute. And then we bring in our life the principle of divinity in the form of Rama, Krishna, Govinda. And thus, we have now a different dimension in our life. We learn how to submit. We learn how to accept. We learn how to be grateful to. And when we just start learning these basic aspects of life, then again our earlier relational problems, they start becoming null and void, because now we have discovered a new area to experience happiness. See, friends? And in this manner, when we keep on our devotion to the Lord slowly, slowly, the devotee transcends the limitations of cause and effect. Now be very attentive. An intelligent person, when uses the intelligence wrongly, he becomes intellectual. And when he becomes intellectual, he has nothing except cause and effect. Why this, why that, why this, why that. See? And with every additional question, we get caught up like the cocoons of the silkworm. We create our own cocoon and get caught up in that. See? So to get out of it, this is the technique. What is the technique? Don't get lost in cause and effect. I'll tell you one simple technique. Long time back, I was in USA in Pittsburgh, and my Amma, she was driving me. And as usual, I had only lungi and shirt and my khadao and nothing else. That was all. And suddenly it started snowing very badly. And the temperature dropped almost -1, -2 like that. And it became so cold. She said, Swamiji, let's go to a nearby shopping mall and I'll buy something for you. It became so cold. So we went and she bought the gumboots and then the overcoat and then the thermals and hand gloves and a cap, and with all that I reached home. When I reached home, she had 2 daughters, twin type, only 1.5 year difference. The moment I entered, they said, Swamiji, you are looking cute. I said, don't say that. I am not looking cute. I am cute. And after that, did mom buy it for you? I said, no. Then I said, my Krishna brought it. Come on, Swamiji, don't bring that damn Krishna everywhere. I said, I'll tell you. Let me get inside the house. We'll finish our food and then I'll talk. So when we finish our food, we are sitting near the fire, and I said, look here. Today, your mom has given me, and I will say, she is so good. So I will like her. Tomorrow, she will give me something, I will say she is good. I like her. She will do it 100 times, and 101st time, for whatever reason, she is not able to do it for me. Immediately, she will become bad and I will start disliking her. Be very attentive. If our relationships create likes and dislikes, we are creating samsara. Now, go one step further. When I get something, it is God's grace. If I don't get something, it is God's grace. So every event will remind me of the divine. And when every event will remind me of the divine, I have nothing to do with the world. There is neither an enemy nor a friend. This is how, through devotion, we purify our mind. And a devotee does not accept cause and effect. A devotee will never talk, if he is really a devotee, that whatever is happening, it is my prarabdha. For a devotee, there is no prarabdha. For a devotee, there is no karma phala. There is no result of earlier actions. For the devotee, everything is divine grace. See? And when we take everything as a divine grace, then thereafter, there is nobody to complain, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. And that mind becomes so pure that we are able to look at the world as the Lord is looking at His own creation. See, 4, 5 children born to the same couple, they will be fighting among each other. But what is the experience of that couple? When they are looking at their own children, children can never understand. They will always say, Mommy, you always love him most and you don't love me. They will always say that. Therefore, friends, purity of heart is necessary, and it can come only through the process of devotion. And when we thus are invoking the divine principle as the primary factor in our life, then there is nobody to complain against. Life is a divine gift. According to the devotee, whatever we have is not because of our earlier meritorious acts. Whatever we have is only because of the divine grace. And what is the grace? Grace is a favor. What is a favor? Although you don't deserve, you get it. Understand, friends? So whatever we have in life, it is not because of our karma. No. Whatever we have in our life is the divine grace. And one step further, when the divine grace is recognized, it starts expressing as love for the Lord and His creation. See, friends, when I go to somebody's house, I don't like dogs. In LA, I had to stay with one Tamilian family. And she is alone staying, that lady, so I had to stay with her. They are organized. She said, I want Swamiji to come and stay with me. I said, okay. So when I went there. After I entered the house, I saw there were 7 dogs and 12 cats. And after I went inside, I went to the fridge to take a glass of water. It was very hot. So when I was opening the fridge, there was a sticker on the fridge. This house is meant for catering the needs of the dogs and the cats with priority. If you are uncomfortable, you are welcome to leave. So when I saw that sticker on the fridge, and when I went, so all those dogs came. What will I do? Amma, your dogs are so sweet. What sweet? See? When I love the Lord, I can never hate His creation. Friends, please recognize this very subtle principle. One more example I'll give you. Once it happened in Bombay. One lady came, Swami, I said, what happened? I gave him left and right. I said, whom you gave left and right? She told somebody's name. I said, why you gave left and right? What business he has got to talk about you? I can't tolerate anybody talking one word against you. And therefore, I didn't care. I gave him left and right. So, I said, Mama, I'll talk to you later. Now I have to get ready to finish my bath and I have to go for my lecture. I'll talk to you later. I just avoided. And she was boiling. After about a week or so, I said, Mama, that day you came and you gave somebody left and right? Yes. Do you know why you did it? Because he was saying like that. I said, no. Because you love me, is it not? Swami, I have to say that I love you. I said, yes, you tell me now. Don't argue. You love me? Yes. Sure? Yes. That means what is in your heart? If you love me, what is in your heart? Love, is it not? If love is in your heart, how can it express as hatred and bitterness for anybody? Do you mean I don't love you? I said, no. See? We have an illusion that we love somebody. It is only selfishness, attachment. See, friends, love, when it is expressed as bitterness, as hurt, is called as attachment. And this bitterness and hurt is not love. See, friends, if love in our heart really comes up for the Lord, we can never have bitterness for anybody in this world. See? With such a mind alone, we can go next step. So what is this step? This step is, look at the world as the Lord is looking at His creation. See? And when we thus have accepted everything as it is, then we go beyond this creation and come to know. Ishavasya says, Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut vijanataha tatra ko moha kashokaha ekatvam anupashyataha. When we come to discover that this whole creation is my own expanse, see? There is no doubt, no moha, no shoka. In that knowledge, don't we love even an abscess on our hand? When there is an abscess, once I went to see somebody, he had a terrible big abscess. I said, hey, what's wrong? Swamiji, now it is such a bad abscess, okay, take medicine. Now what is there to discuss about abscess? But he started. Swamiji, it is, I don't know why it is becoming so big. And 3 days before, the doctor gave a cut. And you know, almost half a bucket of pus, yellow, red. And he was describing it so gloriously because it is his pus, not mine. Friends, anything which we include in the definition of I, we don't hate. Inclusion of everything in the self is called as looking at the ocean and the waves by the water. How the water will look at the ocean? How the water will look at the waves? From the water standpoint, there is neither ocean nor waves. In the same manner, the whole spiritual practice is change your standpoint. Our present standpoint is I versus you. It can never end. So to remove this I versus you, what is I versus you? I is strong, you is strong. See, the other day somebody was applying some cream to my feet and doing some acupressure and said, Swamiji, how come your feet are so soft? You are putting on wooden sandal all the time. How come your feet are soft? I said a simple rule. One thing has to be soft if the two things have to stay together. See? If you have a wooden sandal without the rubber sole and with that hard wooden stick, you step on the hard stone, it will slip. See? I said in the same manner, you people are interested in the soft inner sole of your shoes. So if the shoe sole is soft, your feet have to become hard. My shoes are hard, therefore my feet are soft. A simple rule. See, friends. Therefore, friends, to soften I versus you, introduce the principle of devotion. And a devotee is the one who never falls. Do you know why? Because he is already fallen at the feet of the Lord. Further, where will he fall? One day one child asked me this question. Swamiji, one man fell from the first floor and the second man fell from the 10th floor. What is the difference? I said, I don't know, funny question. No, how it will be like? I said, I don't know. I'll tell you. I said, tell. He told. When a person falls from the first floor, it is dug. And when a person falls from the 10th floor, dug. That expression. When a person falls, right in the beginning, in the devotion, we have surrendered at the feet of the Lord. So there is no crying at all. See, friends, therefore, unless this I is softened, life will be a battle, a bitterness. See? We have to adjust everywhere in life. Adjustment is another spelling for life. See? Where there is no adjustment, life is impossible. And that adjustment becomes possible when we are soft. One more example I will give you. One day, one mother bought food for me, and her child also came. And that fellow was crying. I was feeling, give one to this fellow. But you know, his mother is giving me food, so I had to tolerate. Then I was thinking, what to do with this fellow now? So I started talking to him. I said, hey, these ice cubes I had to put in this small glass, they are not going. What should I do? I said, shall I break the glass and then put the ice cube inside? This is not the way. I wanted to change his topic. I said, then how can I put the ice cubes inside the glass? You don't allow me to break the glass. Then what do I do? Don't do anything. Then just leave it like that. Then what will happen? So I mean, it will melt and the whole water will go inside. See, in a cup, in a glass, if there are half a dozen ice cubes, how they sit? My space is this, your space is this, and in between there is a lot of space wasted. But when same all the ice cubes, when they melt into homogeneous water, let it be a petri dish, let it be a test tube, or let it be a capillary tube. Everywhere the water is at home. See, dissolving the ego means we are at home everywhere. When we have got sharp corners, we are a problem to ourselves and to everyone around us. So with this loosening of the I, then we come to a stage where we are able to understand what is said by the teachers, like Yathaneka chakshu prakashor virna kramena prakashi karoti prakashyam. The sun is not illuminating the different objects one by one. See? He illuminates all the objects simultaneously because everything is included in him. Biggest problem we all have is we have taken ourselves to be inside the body. The truth is the other way around. We are not inside the body. The body is in us. See? Gross body, this much dimension, supported by prana, the air. Air is more pervasive than the gross body. So the body and the prana, they are contained in the mind. Mind is more pervasive than prana and the body. And this mind is contained in the consciousness. Consciousness is more pervasive. So the truth is, the subtler we go, we start expanding. And when we expand, we include everything. See? Therefore, he who has expanded to such an extent that nothing is excluded, everything is included, then we understand his experience. Like when the sun is illuminating 1 million things, it is not a burden for the sun. Hey, let us do it one by one, okay? 1, 2, 3. No, not kramena, not with a sequence. See? Now when I keep my eyes steady, not focusing to anybody, yet so many of you I am able to see simultaneously. It doesn't make any pressure or a load on my eyes when all of you are illumined by the vision. Therefore, yathaneka chakshu prakasho ravirna kramena prakashi karoti prakasham anekadhiyo yastathaika prabodha. In the same manner, one conscious existence enlivening all the intellects simultaneously does not get influenced by the quality of any intellect. The basic rule, please remember, illuminator is never influenced. See? Like the example I gave the other day, 2 bulbs, one illuminating the temple, other illuminating the toilet. See? Will we say that the bulb illuminating the toilet must have been papi, and the bulb illuminating the temple must be very, very pious? No. It makes no difference to the light, what is illumined. Not only that, if all that is illumined is taken away, nothing is lost for the light. In the same manner, whether there is a waking experience or no waking experience, whether there is a dream experience or no dream experience, whether there is a deep sleep or no deep sleep, whether there is samadhi or no samadhi, conscious existence does not get influenced by any of these experiences and appearances. Sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma. That is our essential nature. See? This example I gave you about the phone. Sound waves are the same for all the phones. Whether it is Nokia N series or E series, whether it is a Motorola, whether the provider is a Vodafone or a Hutch, Kutte wala, it makes no difference. See? And when one phone is switched off, there is no loss to the sound waves. When one more phone is added, there is no burden to the sound waves. In the same manner, infinite is that which includes every relative, but the infinite is not equal to the summation of the finite. To come to this cognition, this example is given, that this conscious existence is able to simultaneously express through all the gadgets. Whatever gadget is, in that it is expressing through that. Whether the gadget is man or woman, whether wise or idiot, it makes no difference. See? That is why anekadhiyo yas tathaika prabodaha sa nityopalabdhi swarupo hamatma. Just go slowly, step by step, backwards, towards yourself. Color and forms we drop, we come to the eyes. When the eyes have nothing to illuminate, they are not feeling empty. Then from the objects we have come to the eyes, then from the eyes come to the mind, from the mind come to the consciousness. See, it is something like the objects which are illuminated by the light of the bulb, then from this object go to the light, from the light go to the electricity. It is a journey not in time. It is a journey not in space. It is a journey which doesn't take time. It is a journey which doesn't take you anywhere. Space does not go anywhere. All going and coming is happening in the space. Waking, dream, deep sleep, samadhi, they come and go. The conscious space is ever untouched. See, like for the space, simultaneously, in one part it is the winter, in other part it is summer. In one part it is morning, in other part it is evening. It makes no difference to the space. In the same manner, whatever be the experience, waker and within the waker, the husband, wife, brother, sister, it makes no difference whatsoever. Sanityopalabdhi swarupo hamatma. Here the most important word in this verse is kramena. Wherever there is a sequence established, a mind is born. See? When we see the dream, and in that dream we see, for example, that a grandfather holding the finger of the grandchild is walking on the sea beach. Do we see the dream like this thing? First, the grandfather is born, then he was growing, and then he has produced a son, and the son also grew, and then he has produced a child, and then he has taken the grandchild and went for a walk? No. We see the dream as a big bang, boom. And there, grandfather has to be born earlier, grandson has to be born later. And thus, earlier and later, a concept of time is born. See, that is what is the technique of japa sadhana. In japa sadhana, first we reorganize the sequence. Instead of the thoughts coming randomly, like the poultry birds, there is no organized things in there. Then we get out of the poultry farm and go into the musical concern. There also it is a noise only, but it is organized. And in that organized noise, we become oriented. And if it is a classical concern, and if we are not Aurangzeb, then the classical depth takes us through the sound, beyond the sound. Then we come to discover sounds create sequence. Silence does not create sequence, because sounds are many, silence is one. The longer we expose to the silence. We transcend the time. Going beyond the time is going beyond mind. Therefore, sequence should be avoided. To avoid the sequence, we come to one, that one which is not followed by two, that one which is not divided by two. What is that one which is neither followed by two or divided by two? Is the infinite. It is only the infinite alone is one without a second. Sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma. See? Our experience in the deep sleep is experience of being infinite. There is no limitation of time, space, object, relativity. In the deep sleep, no concept of time, no concept of space, no concept of object, no concept of otherness, no concept of in versus out, no concept of I versus you. When all this conceptual existence is dissolved in the deep sleep, what remains is the absolute infinite being. And that experience we all go through. Alas, we don't recognize that. If we are able to recognize this, deep sleep is equal to samadhi. There is no difference. See, friends, in the deep sleep, although the experience is there, it is not recognized. You know, in one text, Tripura Rahasya, there it is said, like we all recognize waking experience, we all recognize dream experience, we all recognize deep sleep experience. Therefore, when we talk about, we are able to understand it. One day, one lady from a village type of, not educated, very simple, pure, and she used to come for the talks, and she will sit quietly and listen. And one day she said, Swamiji, I am not able to understand one thing. What is that? When you talk about dream, what is the meaning of dream? As you see, in the dream, when you go to sleep, this world is not there, but you see something. She said, I have never dreamt. Now, for her, there are two experiences, waking and sleep. Now, to that lady, how can you explain what is a dream? In the same manner, we all go through the experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi 100 times. But we don't recognize this is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And therefore, although we go through the experience, we miss it. So what is all the sadhana is recognition of this experience. And this can happen only by the simple technique. Let us not give too much importance to sequence. Sequence creates time, time creates cause and effect creates logic, logic binds you into your own foolishness. How simple the life becomes. Therefore, yathaneka chakshu prakasho ravirna kramena prakashi karoti prakasham anekadhiyo yastathaika prabodha sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma. To indicate this, our scriptures tell that the reality is causeless. See? What is the cause of the God? No. One child asked me this question. Swamiji, God created this world. I said, yes. Who created God? God is not a created entity. It is a causeless existence. And therefore, to reach this causeless state, we have to transcend the mind which is fabricating the cause and effect. And to get out of it, krama, the sequence, must be disregarded. Otherwise, we go on imagining, I went there, this happened, that happened, that happened. Oh, aha! There is no cause, no age, it is just like that. See what a difference it makes. We have never asked why the fire is hot. Did we ever ask? We never asked. What we do? We accept the fire is hot. Thereafter we start thinking how to interact with the fire which is hot, and the heat should be our slave and we should not be burnt by the heat, is it not? We don't waste our time in why the fire is hot in the first place. Now apply this principle. Rather than arguing into anything, but why he is like that? Aha, you know he is like that. Okay, now go ahead. See, then alone we really mean spiritual path. Like the other day I told you, one wife was complaining about her husband that he is too angry all the time. What should I do? Why don't you tell him something? So the husband was not there. I said, Amma, then her son was there. Swamiji, can I reply this question? I said, wow, come on. You have taken my burden away. And the child was coming for the lecture in Upanishad. He used to come and sit in the front and quietly sit all through the lecture. And that day we have the topic like Yan manasana manute yena ahur manomatam tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate yash chakshushana pashyati yena chakshukam pashyati tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate yash shrotrena na shrunoti yena shrotragam idam shrutam tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. That Parabrahma Paramatma thou art. Now that child, innocent, pure, fully attentive, he was so clear that Parabrahma Paramatma is our essential nature and everybody is. So when the mother said, he becomes very angry on everything, what should I do? So he said, Mom, Swamiji told us in the morning, no, everything is Brahman. Then why don't you look upon Dad as an angry Brahman? Brahman alone can support anger. So there is a variety. Don't we like variety in your food? If you have got, for the breakfast sandwich and lunch sandwich and dinner with the sandwich, how boring the life will become? Because in the sandwich there is neither sand nor wheat, yet it is called a sandwich. Therefore, friends, let us not get lost in logic, cause and effect. Just live cheerfully and happily. Why there should be any reason to be happy? Yes, there can be reason to be miserable. Now what is the reason to be miserable? Default settings. We all have our laptops and we have the default settings. If I am a mother, the cause of my misery is my children. If I am a husband, the cause of my misery is my wife. It's so clear. Unless we change this default setting, we do not want to change ourselves. Vivasvat prabhatam yatharupam pragrunhani nabhatamevam vivasvan yatha yada bhata abhasayate kshamekaha sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma. See, this thought has come here. Now the same thought I will give you this example and then we will go outside. Vivaswan means the sun. I told you in the morning this example, further we will elaborate. You are able to see me because the light is reflecting on me, and you have an illusion that you are seeing me, but in reality you are seeing only the light which is reflected on my body and clothes. Right? Whether you want it or not, this is the truth. Okay? Now, I am here, you are able to see me, therefore you have got a vision. Now, just as an experiment, we switch off all the lights. I am here, you are there, you have vision. Will you be able to see me? No. So what you are seeing me? You are not seeing me. You are seeing only the reflected light on me. Is it not? See, friends, this is the example given here. The whole world is outside. In the absence of the sun, although the mountains are there, the trees are there, nothing is seen, because the sun, the illuminating factor, is absent. Now, whether there is a sun or not, who illuminates? The eyes. In the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Sanjay is explaining the brightness of the Vishwarupa divine form. There, this particular thought is referred by Einstein also in his books. He says that if there were to rise millions of suns simultaneously in the sky, how much bright will be the light? Much more than that is the brightness of the divine form. Now when we think about God and divinity and the brightness, we start doing the eye like that. It may be too bright. That is not the meaning. See, one small candle in a dark room is absolutely bright. The same candle you take outside at 12 o'clock noon, when there is a bright sun, put it in the center of the road. Nobody will even recognize the flame burning, because it is overpowered by the sunlight, is it not? Go one step further. There is sun and the sunlight. Who illuminates? The eyes. So, the light of the eyes is more powerful than the light of the sun. Go one step further. Who is peeping through the eyes? It is the mind. So, the light of the mind is more powerful than the light of the senses. And what is the mind? Mind is an expression of the consciousness. Therefore, the light of consciousness is much more than all the other lights. See, friends. So when we are practicing, don't get carried away by those kinds of things. Swamiji, when I sat for meditation, first, the green light came. After some time, it became yellow. Then it became red. What is that experience? You must have been standing for long before a traffic light. This light, don't understand in this manner. These are all the projections of the mind. Therefore here, Vivasvat prabhatam yatharupam aksham pragrunnati. Only that which is illumined in the light of the sun, that alone can be caught by the eyes. If there is absolute darkness, even the objects are there, they cannot be known by the eyes. But who is illuminating even the sun is this light of consciousness. Therefore, yada bhata abhasayatyaksham sanityopalabdhi swarupoham atma. Now what is meant in this particular verse is the objects which are illumined, the experience of illumination, and the experiencer of the illumined object. All these three are illumined by an independent reality which is not dependent on all the three components of an experience. In our waking experience, we have got these three components. First component, waking world. Second component, waking experience. Third component, Mr. Waker. All these three components are illumined by the same conscious existence. The waking world is known, illumined by the same conscious existence. The waking experience is also illumined by the same conscious existence. And Mr. Waker is also illumined by the same conscious existence. See? You must have done this number of times in your life. Many times, we very clearly know. I think I am going to get angry now, I think. Anger is building up. I think better I go away somewhere. Means what? Anger is known by us. And when we know this anger is overpowering, then either we become angry, or when we become aware, we go away from that place and reduce the impact of anger. So, the anger as an object, anger as an experience, and angry as a personality, all three are illumined by the same light of consciousness, Sanityopalabdhi Swarupoham Atma. Friends, from the total experience of life, we take only waking experience as life. First mistake. Then, from the waking experiences of the life, we take one isolated experience of he said like that, I said like that. And on the basis of that, we destroy the joy of life. And we call ourselves to be intellectual. See? How simple life becomes. Take the life in its totality. In the dream, we have friends, enemies, but when we are awake, do we carry the load of the friends and the enemies? No, they were just the projections of the mind. Exactly the same mind is going through the waking experience. So, one quality of experience called as a dream we reject as an illusion. But the other experience gained through the same mind is considered as real. Can there be any height of foolishness? See, friends, when we come to recognize this, that all experiences falling under the umbrella of mind are illusions. One day I went to see one movie in a special theatre, I don't know what they call. In that, whatever is shown in the screen, that way your chair also starts moving and shaking. Somewhere I find Pattaya. So when we are going for that movie, it is written, foreign people should not enter the theatre. Those who have got heart problem, those who have got high BP, those who are pregnant, because the experience is terrible. So I went. I was not any one of them. So I went inside. And there was a friend of mine, he also came. And when we went, the picture was a train going through very terrible terrain, and there was a lava, big valley of lava valley, and there the train goes and falls. That was one of the clips. And when it started, it builds up. And when the train is going like this, your chair also becomes like this thing. And then goes like this. And when they cut, the chair also moves like this thing. So you get so much identified as if you are in that train and you are going to fall. And he became so nervous. Swamiji, let us go out. I said, don't. Simply close your eyes and sit down. So when he closed his eyes, immediately his grip on my wrist became loose. And then he asked, Swami, over? I said, abhi to gir rahe hai. Yes, you're going to fall down. See, that which is not included in the mind does not exist. See, whether it is a waking experience or dream experience, all are only illusions in the mind. These are all images. That is the reason why mind never becomes old. Because time is a baby of the mind. The time can never influence mind. That is why we never feel we have become old. It is the grace of the people around. You just observe this. We can never experience that we have become old. We never. Impossible. See, friends. Therefore, this sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma yada abhasayate kamakshvekaha sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma. Now see, in all this thinking, contemplation, every contemplation is meditation. Meditation is not a silent suffering in the most unenvious posture. Put the Padmasana tight and close your eyes and your teeth and suffer silently. It is something like this, Let me come out, I'll show you. Meditation is not a torture, friend. See, meditation is not a burden. It's a joy. There is no station of misery to the kingdom of bliss. There is no misery anywhere. See? Sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma. So all this thinking process, what we are doing is only one thing. All our wrong notions are being erased one by one, one by one. See? The net result is like this. The other day, one lady came with me to Calcutta. And she has been with me, known to me for so many years. When her only daughter was about 6th standard, since then I know her. Now her daughter has got a son who is in the 6th standard. So she was with me for 1 week. And she says, Swamiji, you have removed a huge burden from my head. I said, what I have done? Please tell me. She said, in my whole life I was struggling for one thing. And that one thing was, I could not stand to my mother-in-law. And I was always feeling guilty. Why do I have bad feeling towards her? Why can't I love her like everybody, like Swamiji tells? And how hard I was trying, but it will never happen. But you told, I said, did I tell you hate her? No. You told very clearly in your talk, don't be obsessed. If the mind, like something like this, if you have got allergy for, let us take milk, are you going to fight with the milk? Don't forget about it. How does it matter? Nahi to nahi. In the same manner, mind also has got its own allergies. So don't fight with the mind. Never imagine that there will not be a single bad thought in your mind. It is not possible. Never imagine that there will not be a single thought of hurt. Any time, any thought can erupt like the volcanoes. Don't worry about it. Let them come and go, who cares? See? And in this manner, slowly, give more importance to Sanityopalabdhi Swarupohamatma. That is more important. Then we come to know that everything is an expression that is supported by the divinity. See? And what is divinity? Unattached. Good experience, bad experience. Waking experience, dream experience. Deep sleep experience, samadhi experience. All experiences are illumined by the same conscious existence. Sanityopalabdhi Swarupohamatma. That eternal presence is our essential nature. See? We don't have to struggle for silence. And this silence is not opposed to disturbance. See, there are three words: Shanti, Ashanti and Prashanti. Ashanti, no commentary is required. We are establishing that. Shanti, which is opposed to Ashanti. And what is Prashanti? Prashanti is that which is not disturbed by Ashanti and which is not enhanced by Shanti. Prashanta Nilayam. People may speak good about him or bad about him. Just above all, abiding in this is called as living in meditation. So let us not be obsessed. But why bad thoughts come in the mind? Let them come. Why you are worried? You know why we are worried? Because we give a status of reality to them. This example I gave you the other day. How many times we have thought, contemplated, interacted with our shadow? When the shadow falls in a gutter, see? When a truck runs over the shadow, oh God, save me. No. Or when the shadow falls on the altar of the Lord. No. Because the shadow is never even recognized. In the same manner, where there is Prakriti, matter, there is Vikruti, change. Absolutely normal. So let all the changes be illumined by this unchanging reality. See? Everything else is never available, upalabdha for us. When we are in waking experience, dream, deep sleep and samadhi is not available. In the dream, waking, deep sleep and samadhi not available, and so on. But we never get an experience that we are ever absent. constant. Whether it is waking or dream or deep sleep, whether they come or go, it makes no difference. See? And one more point, deep point. With that, I leave you to contemplate for the whole night. In the waking experience, you and me are separate. My waking experience and your waking experience is different. You are enjoying here and I am suffering. Place is the same. Our experiences are different. Then our dreams are different. Our dream experiences are different. But in the deep sleep, we are all having the same experience. There is nothing like your deep sleep and my deep sleep, no. Because in deep sleep, there is no sense of otherness. So when there is no sense of otherness, where is the question, my deep sleep and your deep sleep? So in deep sleep, we all are homogeneously undivided existence. Like when you go deeper into the sea, the differences born out of the waves disappear. When we are on the surface of the sea, the waves will be buffeting. You dive deep, go hardly maybe 10 feet. All the disturbance disappear. In the same manner, on the surface of our knowledge, the waves of the thoughts are creating the disturbances of separateness, I versus you. Go deep in the consciousness. There are no differences. This undifferentiated Sanityopalabdhi Swarupo Hamatma. Waves come and go. Ocean doesn't come and go. Thoughts come and go. Consciousness doesn't come and go. This eternal presence is our essential nature. This experience that we are all going through is not created by asana or pranayam or chanting the Lord's name or giving charity or doing seva. No. This effortless glide into our own being is only by one simple technique. We have to correct our focal length. We are focusing at a wrong place. Either the world of experience or the experience of the world or the experiencer of the world. When we focus our attention to the experience of the world, we are in the waking experience. When we focus our attention to the experiencer of the world, then we are in the dream experience. And when we are focusing our attention to the experiencer, the illusion of I is born. Now what we have done through this inquiry, withdrawn from the experienced world, the experience of the world and the experiencer. Nothing is done. All what we have been doing is undone. Undoing is meditation. Unbecoming is meditation. The earth, the waters, the fire and the air, they have movement. Space doesn't move. All the movements are possible in the space. In the same manner, the gross body, the senses, the mind, the experiences, they have the movement. They come and go. But the conscious space, whether it is a waking experience, comes or goes, nothing is added and nothing is taken away. Sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma. Living in this understanding, initially with efforts, subsequently effortlessly, is living in meditation. Meditation is not a drill. What practice the part space will have to do to recognize that it is the absolute space? Is it necessary to break the pot? No. Not only the space is in the pot, but the pot is in the space. Inside and outside is an illusion created by the walls of the pot. To establish this one, we don't have to break the pot. Only correct our understanding. Pot space is created with the creation of the pot. Absolute space is not created. The pot space gives an illusion of utility. Because something is useful is not real. Sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.